Financial security is a lifelong journey, so I am Charles Henry White, and today I'm talking to Mr. Vusi Khathi about the 65 Alive cash benefit. Mr. Vusi, you have been around, or you've been with AVBOB for a while, and what is the advice that you would give to your younger self?
Thank you for the opportunity, Charles. If I were to go back and advise my younger self, I would go by saying you need to plan for your life, in future. So the trick is about planning, so that you don't fall into the trap of not living the life that you feel you deserve and you start blaming other people for it, which is what I used to do when I was young. I used to blame everybody else except myself.
When you say you shouldn't just live the life, or if you want the life you want to live, you should start early, what advice would you give younger person or people? When should they take out a funeral policy, and how, for instance, how would the 65 Alive cash benefit benefit them if they start early?
Looking at life in general, Charles, it's better to start early, with your financial planning in particular, because everything that we are and everything we do revolves about money. And it's very sad that there are things that we cannot do because we blame money. We don't have money, but we didn't have proper planning when it was time for us to plan. For instance, if you're selling funeral policies to the younger generation, they look at themselves as like excluded from those that could die or die soon. But the reality of the matter is that, life is life. We die young, or we lose our loved one at a younger stage. Particularly if you're looking at the 65 Alive, what a brilliant benefit that AVBOB is actually giving back to their members. I love the fact that AVBOB is a mutual assurance society, because we're not owned by anybody else except our members. They own us, so we are able to plow back and say, particularly to the young ones who are not very much even keen on saving, that if you take a 65 Alive benefit, you are going to get money. Let's say you take an investment policy. When your investment matures, you get your 65 Alive benefit also that is added. But hey, if you add it to your other insurance policies, like your funeral policies, then you have to live until you are 65 and your policy is 10 years. Now that looks like a lifelong thing, but it is not. Time will come and you're thinking of retiring and you don't have enough. 65 Alive will guarantee that you have something, some sort of investment that you've been making.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you so much. So from an economic point of view, what advice would you give younger people to manage their finances in terms of financial planning in the long term? And also, what would the 65 Alive benefit and similar benefits that AVBOB offer mean to them in the future?
Savings and savings. If you start early enough to save, then you are going to be able to enjoy your life in future. Because we talk about matters of death that comes to anybody at any time. You talk about matters of education for your children, for instance, or any other expenses, like in the African culture, you have to pay lobola, and that happens when you're still young. What a way to save your money, so that you can afford that. Maybe you want to buy your new expensive cars like you guys are interested in. This is about saving. So you save so that you can afford, because you don't know what the future is bringing, But this ensures that you don't have to blame other people. If anybody has to be blamed, it's yourself.
Thanks, Mr. Vusi. And I think, if I can understand you right, I think I should start as soon as possible, and also that will benefit me in the future. And so wise words from Mr. Vusi Khathi, and thank you again for the interview. I appreciate it.
Thank you.